Hello, Dr. Cinema here, and we're still in Travolta month. Now, my last video, I talked a little bit about Battlefield Earth and how, for a long time, it was considered John Travolta's worst film of his entire career. But I also said in that video that there might be a new movie of John Travolta's filmography that could be a competitor. That competitor is a film I've also already talked about. Gotti, the 2018 film with 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. So, this is a tough one because I don't really like either one of these films. I mean, I'm a more lenient, I was a little softer in Gotti, but yeah, even I have trouble coming up with good stuff to say about Gotti. So, instead of my usual 5 rounds for this movie face off, we're just going to be focusing on 3. That's really about as much as I can tolerate from either of these films. And if you've seen either of these films or both, you know what I mean. So, 3 rounds, not 5. Let's do this. Round 1, story. So, the story of Battlefield Earth is based on the book where Earth is being controlled by alien race known as the Cyclos. One of the few remaining humans gets captured and ends up learning stuff about the Cyclos and leads a rebellion against the Cyclos, destroying their home planet. Yada yada yada. That typical stuff. Gotti is a biopic on the real life gangster John Gotti, who was considered by many to be the last Dom, and is a biographical look at him as well as his eldest son during the last bit of the film. I already mentioned how Gotti's editing, especially in the first half, is so all over the place in terms of placement, consistency, and tone that it's really hard to follow sometimes. And as much as Battlefield Earth is typical, standard, not original, it's a linear story. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end that's easily identifiable. So this round goes to Battlefield Earth. Now let's go to round 2, cast. So of course John Travolta is a major character in both these films. You also have in Battlefield Earth the main guy of the human race. You got Forrest Whitaker as one of the Cyclos. You got human love interest for the protagonist. A couple of other supporting Cyclos. Yeah, I don't really remember anyone from this film, to be honest. Gotti, don't really remember much either, but John Travolta plays John Gotti, the last Don, and then there's his eldest son. And to be fair, John Travolta and the guy who plays his oldest son are probably the only 2 actors I'd say are actually kind of good in this film. And there are several supporting characters as well. None of the names I can really remember off the top of my head, but they do actually stand out more than anyone from Battlefield Earth. And when it comes to these kind of movies, that's kind of a big deal. So with this round, I'm giving it to Gotti. 1-1 tie, one last round. And that is the atmosphere / tone of the film. So Battlefield Earth is stupid in many of its in-story logic and rule consistency, but it does try to create an atmosphere of a world being taken over by alien race, humans on the brink of extinction, and fighting back in a more optimistic tone. But a lot of this atmosphere and tone stuff is so general, standard, and predictable that it really has little to no impact on the audience. Gotti, like I said, in the first half of the film, is all over the place in terms of atmosphere and tone because of its really weird editing. And at the beginning and end of the film, we have John Travolta as Gotti turn and talk directly to the camera for like no reason. Like there's no narration throughout the rest of the film. It's just at the first like minute at the very beginning, like the last minute at the very end. It's kind of weird, but this sort of all over the place in terms of tone, and it's just like kind of like bizarre nature at certain points actually makes it more memorable. I mean, yes, there is a more consistent focused tone during the second half of the film, which I really appreciate. But I'm having trouble remembering Battlefield Earth, and I have better luck at trying to remember some of the stuff from Gotti. So, the atmosphere this round and the face-off goes to Gotti. So, yeah, Battlefield Earth is still John Travolta's worst film. Sorry, it is like still early in the morning, and I'm a little tired. But anyway, Gotti wins. Battlefield Earth still John Travolta's worst movie ever made. That's all I have to say for right now. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Dr. Cinema. See you again for Travolta Month.